This video lesson is about factoring quadratics when a is not equal to 1. This method is called guess and check. Let me start this lesson by saying that if you are not very comfortable with your multiplication table and you do not enjoy mental math, this might not be a method that you want to spend much time on. There are two other methods. There will be videos on those that are slightly more automated and require a little bit less mental math. All right, so this is called guess and check. You can also think of this method as unfoiling, because we are precisely going to unfoil the quadratic expressions. It has 3 steps. Step 1, I call get first. Step 2, I call get last. And step 3, I call check, outer plus inner. If your first educated guesses don't work, then of course you have to try different guesses, which starts the 3 steps over again. So before we start, let's review foiling really quick. When you multiply a binomial times a binomial, like 2x plus 1 times x minus 4, there are 4 products you have to find. First times first, which would be 2x squared, and the outer product is negative 8x in this example. The inner product is positive x, and the last product is negative 4. Notice you have middle terms, so they are alike, so we can combine them into negative 7x, and we get 2x squared minus 7x minus 4. Now notice you can easily see the first product, 2x squared, as 2x times x. You can also see the last product as 1 times negative 4. But the negative 7x in the middle came from combining the outer product, negative 8x, with the inner product of positive x. When you add these 2 terms together, that's when you can see the negative 7x. So this is how I came up with the steps. Get first, get last, and then check O plus I. So let's apply it to a fresh example. All right, so we're going to factor 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. Notice that our first term is 3x squared, which is easily factored into 3x times x. Our last term is negative 2, which is easily factored into negative 2 times 1, or, of course, positive 2 times negative 1. Remember, a negative is equal to a positive times a negative. So one of the 2 factors has to be negative. So we're going to set up our parentheses to receive our binomials. We're going to get first by placing 3x and x at the front of each set of parentheses, And then we're going to get the -2 by putting -2 and +1. Now, we don't know if we're right yet. So we're going to check that middle term. We're going to check outer plus inner. So our outer product is 3x times 1, which is 3x. Our inner product is -2 times x, which is -2x. But notice that 3x minus 2x simplifies to 1x, not 5x. So we know that this is the wrong factorization. Now the next thing we're going to try is switching the 2 and the 1. So I'm going to put the 1 here, and I'm going to put the -2 back here. Let's check that out. So we're going to check our middle term. Our outer product is 3x times -2, or -6x. Our inner product is 1 times x, or +1x. -6x plus 1x simplifies to -5x, which is very close. The only problem we have is the sign. So when that happens, you switch the signs. Switch the signs. So I'm going to go back to my problem, and I'm going to erase my signs. I'm going to put the negative first and the positive second. And now we're going to check the whole problem using FOIL. So check. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 2 is +6x. -1 times x is -x, and -1 times 2 is -2. Combine the like terms in the middle, and you get 3x squared plus 5x minus 2, which is what we were looking for. So our factorization, 3x minus 1 times x plus 2, is correct. Our next example, we're going to factor 2x squared plus 9x plus 9. I'm trying to get rid of that circle. I want it to go away. Well, goodbye. Okay, here we go. So I know I need to get first. My first term is 2x squared, and that's easily factored into 2x times x. So I'm going to put a 2x in one set of parentheses and an x in the second set of parentheses. Now 9 can be factored as either 9 times 1 or as 3 times 3. So let's try +3 and +3 and see what happens. All right, I'm going to check outer plus inner. Outer is 2x times 3, which is 6x. Inner is 3 times x, which is +3x. And 6x plus 3x is equal to 9x. So we did it. We got it right on the first try. Awesome. Next example. 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. All right, step 1, get first. 5x squared is easily factored into 5x times x. So we know that's right. Those are the only factors of 5x squared. Now we need to get negative 2 next. So let's see, negative 2 is either negative 2 times 1 or it's positive 2 times negative 1. Let's try positive 2 and negative 1 as our factors and see if it works. 5x times negative 1 is my outer product. 5x times negative 1 is negative 5x. 2 times x is my inner product, and that's positive 2x. Negative 5x plus 2x is negative 3x, which, yay, is very close. The only thing wrong is the sign, so we switch them. Switch signs. So I'm going to erase this plus and make it negative, and I'm going to erase this minus and make it a plus. And now I'm going to check the whole thing from beginning to end. Check. 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times 1 is positive 5x. Negative 2 times x, trying to erase that plus sign, is negative 2x. And negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Notice I have first, and I have last. That's guaranteed with this method. The only thing we really have to wonder about is outer plus inner, but 5x minus 2x is positive 3x. And we can see that we got exactly where we started, which means we factored it correctly. All right, next example. 2x squared plus 19x minus 10. So we have some bigger numbers here. The 2x squared is easily factored into 2x times x. That's the only way to get 2x squared. However, negative 10 can be factored as negative 10 times 1. It can be factored as negative 5 times 2. Or, of course, I could switch all those signs and get 2 more possibilities. So let's try using positive 1 here and negative 10 here. Now I'm going to check my outer. 2x times negative 10 is negative 20x. I'm going to check my inner. 1 times x is positive 1x. Negative 20x plus 1x is negative 19x, which is close again, but the signs are wrong, so we switch them. Switch signs. All right, so let's see if I can erase better this time. I need to make this negative and this positive, and now I'm going to check the whole thing from the beginning by foiling or distribution. My first product is 2x times x, which is 2x squared. My outer product is 2x times 10, which is positive 20x. My inner product is negative 1 times x, which is negative x. And my last product is negative 1 times 10, which is negative 10. And now notice I have like terms in the middle. And 20x minus 1x is 19x. The 2x squared, of course, is guaranteed. The negative 10 is guaranteed. And the outer plus inner worked out. So my factoring is correct. And I just need to make this comment. The factoring is the 2x minus 1x plus 10. So this is the actual answer to the question if you're asked to factor this particular quadratic. One more comment. I can't remember. 2x minus 1, x plus 10. It'll come back to me. Oh, by the way, these are called factors. 2x minus 1 is a factor. X plus 10 is a factor. All right, next example. All right. Now, I hope you've noticed that all of our firsts so far have been very easy to get because the coefficient on x squared in each of these problems was a prime number. Prime numbers can only be factored into themselves times 1. So for example, 2 is only equal to 2 times 1. 3 is only equal to 3 times 1. 5 is only equal to 5 times 1. But what if A is not prime? Let's factor 6x squared minus 7x minus 3. 6x squared, our first term, can be factored into either 6x times x or 3x times 2x. That's the first time we've had to deal with this choice. So let's start with 6x times 1x. So we've gotten first. Now we need to try to get last, which is negative 3. Well, negative 3 is, or 3 is prime. So negative 3 is negative 3 times 1 or positive 3 times negative 1. So let's just try negative 3 and positive 1. Outer 6x times 1 is 6x. Inner negative 3 times x is negative 3x. 6x minus 3x equals 3x, not negative 7x. So this particular factorization is wrong. Now we need to be careful here. We can't throw out 6x times x yet because we still need to try switching the 1 and the 3. So I'm going to do that now. We'll put 6x minus 1 and x plus 3. So we know this is wrong. Goodbye. Now we're going to check outer. And my outer here is 6x times 3. 6x times 3 is 18x. That's kind of a big number. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. 18x minus 1x is 17x, not negative 7x. The problem here is the 18. It's just too far away from 7 to give us hope of getting all the way back there. So we can safely now throw out 6x times 1x, which means now we have to try 3x times 2x. All right, let's see. So we have first 6x squared equals 3x times 2x. We know we did that right. Now we have to find factors of negative 3 that we've already talked about, are negative 3 times 1 or 3 times negative 1. So let's just go ahead and put them in here in the order they appear. Negative 3 first here and positive 1 in the second parenthesis. And now we're going to check outer. 3x times 1 is 3x. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. 3x minus 6x is negative 3x, which is not what we need it to be. So we know this is wrong. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cross that out. I'm going to set up 3x and 2x again, and I'm going to switch the 1 and the 3 and see what happens. Now when I check outer, I get 3x times 3, which is 9x, inner is negative 1 times 2x, which is negative 2x. And now I'm starting to see the light, because 9x minus 2x is positive 7x, and I need negative. So I'm super close except for the sign, so I'm going to switch the signs. So let's just go ahead and rewrite it as 3x plus 1 and 2x minus 3. And now we'll check the whole thing from scratch, just to be extra super careful. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times negative 3 is negative 9x. 1 times 2x is positive 2x. And 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. When I combine like terms in the middle, I get 6x squared minus 7x minus 3, which is exactly what I started with. Now that took a lot more steps. So this is why I say if you don't enjoy mental math and you're not good with your times tables, this is probably not the method for you. However, if you like math, if you plan on going into a math-based field, this is absolutely the best practice and the best mental exercise you can do for preparing for college. We're going to do